Look at tract 3 at the Mule Shoe Project. Gorgeous property. You can see it here. It's about 10 acres in size. Actually borders the county road along its entire west side. That's County Road 525. Goes back to the east for about a quarter mile, about 1,320 feet, and approximately 10 acres in size. So if we zoom out a little bit, we're going to see the Mule Shoe Conservation Area. That's the shaded area here. Extremely close to the property, literally just a few hundred feet down the road from the property. You've got the conservation area. You've got the Little Niangua River, which flows up into the Lake of the Ozarks. We won't go too into detail on the area because you can see the intro video within the Mule Shoe Project page for that. But why don't we look at the property itself? This is a wintertime Google map, so we're not really seeing any leaves on the trees, but of course you can check out the drone video to kind of see more of a summertime look here. Basically all wooded. There is an old existing kind of a trail that goes diagonally over the property, and if we switch, actually let's do an infrared map for that. That should show it. That shows it really well. It kind of starts up here by tract 2 and goes diagonally across several of the tracks. That diagonal road, that is not any kind of access easement for anybody. It's just an old trail. So there's no one that's going to be crossing over your property on that trail. The easement for access and utilities is going to be along the west side of the property here. So I mean, if you put in a driveway, you potentially could tap into that little trail to give you access to the north and south part of your property. But again, it's not any kind of access easement for anybody else to cross over your property. As we can see, I mean, it's basically all wooded other than, let's go back to the Google map, other than, I guess, the little trail and maybe a few small natural openings. Since this is a wintertime aerial, it's pretty easy to tell the hardwood trees from the cedar and pine trees. And in this case, it looks like we have kind of a cedar grove toward the middle of the property. And then on the west side and the east side, those appear to be mostly hardwood trees. Let's go to the topo map. Actually, just for a second here, let's go in on this northeast corner because we had that video we took that actually showed this little creek bed, and it was flowing when we were back there. And we were basically right at the northeast corner of tract 3. So you can see where that crosses over. And after we go to the topo map, we might even see that a little more here. Okay. Well, not really. Basically what this topo is showing us is it's got a level area here toward the west side. Why don't we start at the county road? From the county road itself, it slopes up fairly gradually. When the lines are close, that means steeper. When they're further apart, that means flatter. And topo maps aren't perfect, but they generally give you a pretty good idea about the area. So from the county road, for instance, as we go east, it's sloping up fairly gradually for the most part. We get in a couple hundred feet, and we have the large level area, which extends kind of north and south. It's part of a ridge. If you zoom out, you can see this is all a big ridge here. And then as we go easterly from that ridge, it slopes back down again. And in fact, it's got kind of a little valley going diagonally over the east side. And then there's another more of a gentle slope downwards, and then you've got that little creek bed. So as we look at the topo, we can see this valley here, and that creek bed in the bottom of that valley is what crosses over the northeast part. Because we parked on a different tract up here, and then we walked up the creek bed. But I believe we saw this little valley on tract 3. Because there were a couple other spots where there were smaller creeks feeding into kind of this main creek, and so this valley is probably one of those. By the way, if you're looking for a property that has a potential for a live spring or maybe a cave, this type of a valley, that's where we find stuff like that. Caves much more rare, but still the right topography for a cave that we've seen anyway. But springs, we don't know if there's one on this property, but this would be the place to check, this valley area. You'll probably find some cool rock formations there as well. So actually, as far as level area, this has more than some of the other tracts out here. Tract 2 appears to have the larger level area, and that's probably why that old home site is on Tract 2. But then Tract 3 is nearby as well, and that has this fairly large level area here toward the west side. Again, kind of shows it's probably sloping up from the county road. Here at the southwest side, it slopes up a little more steeply, and here toward the middle and the northwest side, it slopes up a little more gradually from what we can see. And then probably an ideal building site, if you wanted a large flat area, would be to get in 200 or 300 feet to this large flat kind of a ridge type area. So super cool tract, extremely close to power. Let's go back to the Google map. There's an existing power line running on the south side of this County Road 66 up here. So that's going to be your closest power, more than likely. The power actually does run into the old home site on Tract 2, but likely if you were to take the power to Tract 3, it would come down this west side, adjacent to the county road, or set back a little bit from the county road. But I mean, either way, you're less than a quarter mile from power, which is a good thing if you ever need it. So yeah, looks like a great tract. Check out the ground video, check out the drone video. Conservation area extremely close, which is awesome, and just really a good location. So good sized property. If you have any questions, just let us know.